क्लास के बाहर जो जूता सफाई होगी तुम्हारी
इसका
मैं मजाक नहीं करती जब मैं बोलती हूँ फेल वो सच्ची होती है।
सुन देख मैं उसके शो पे गई थी देख
मैं देखो
मैं मेरी फ्रेंड की शो पे गई थी उधर उसका वो ड्रामा जा रहा था आई डिड नॉट नो ये वही लीडर्स है ठीक है मेरे को वो सुन के तो अच्छा लगा मोटिवेटेड लग रहा बट उसके बाद देख रहा हूँ और मेरे को फिर से लगा
दोन दिवस ये इतनी डेस्परेट है इसको कोई फेंक दो यहाँ से
रबर बल बनूंगी ठीक है
खुद को देख के ड्रॉपस्टिक
इधर रात में इधर है मेरे को पता है ड्रॉपस्टिक
भाई ये खुद ड्रॉपस्टिक इतनी है उठा के गिर जाए यार थैंक यू
अरे नहीं खाना हो रहा था ड्रॉपस्टिक किया चल मैं भी मेरे सर काम की चीज है कि नहीं क्या साइन वगैरह कुछ नहीं है ऐसे करवा दिया मैं फाइल कंप्लीट मैंने कंप्लीट की दी भी नहीं मैं 2 मिनट में लिख रही
मैं उसमें नोटबुक प्रेजेंटेबल रखती हूँ कंप्लीट में मैंने बायो की टीचर को 2 साल से फूल कर रही हूँ
कौन सी
मैं कभी बायो की नोटबुक कंप्लीट नहीं करती ना तो मैं बस नोट्स सुंदर लिखती हूँ नॉट कंप्लीट दैट्स व्हाई ए आदित्य तू ये पफ बनाना मत
अरे पफ नहीं बनाते तो गिर जाता है बाहर
ए नहीं लगता
अरे तो मैं क्या करूं
साइड पार्ट करने पे अच्छा लगता है साइड पार्ट करके छोड़ दे सेंटर पार्ट करके छोड़ दे मैं जैसे छोड़ देती हूँ ना
मैं कब छोड़ देती मुझे डाटा था उसको
अरे अब बोल के दिखाई
तेरे वाला थोड़ी तो बोलने वाला बोलना ठीक है ना डाटे मैं कुछ एक
तुम्हारे भी तो बनवाए थे उस दिन
डाटा भी नाम
हाँ बोला था
वो ये डाटा संजीती को डांट पड़ी क्या संजीती क्या से ना
फेल तो मैं बोल रही हूँ बाहर जाओ
जगह में बाल देखे हैं नहीं
हेलो मैम Are you doing any code?
I told her please switch to PC.
Very serious.
Just now we switched.
Last week we were studying French Revolution.
Can you tell
What have we
learned
learned?
all the causes?
What is this?
Old regime, terror.
We have to do a dictatorship rules plan. Page number 14.
Did we do Reign of Terror?
Yeah, we completed Reign of Terror.
No. Here today I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I have the notes for Reign of Terror. Come on.
We didn't plan the
School you might have.
But then, alright, whatever. Okay. We'll have to start with Reign of Terror then.
Okay. Now I have told you about the condition of that time. The people were having food shortages, subsistence crisis.
Yeah.
So in that time, I have told one example also. Women how they react.
Yeah.
Brooms.
Yes, I remember.
So this say
I know one of them.
I was there. Okay. So I really, when I am teaching this thing, that image is coming. So really I can understand how the people will react in such occasions. Okay. Now, anyhow, what we have to learn is how this all started. Outbreak of revolution. Okay, by the by, how many of you have written that test which was held last week?
I wrote how much did you get? I want to check. Should I check?
Today, you got?
No, I have to see if I got the result.
You did not write? Test?
Actually, I didn't attend lectures.
But still now that you have to write. Then only you can understand.
I'm having extra lectures.
I don't think we got the results yet for the chapter.
Okay.
The what do you call it? Socialism in Europe, right? I don't think we have the results.
What's your name?
Ritika.
Your? Okay. So about that, something I wanted to tell. Can you show your handwriting?
My handwriting.
Both. Okay. Good.
Not very wonderful, but
No. What I wanted to tell is that sometimes you are having that idea, but when you are presenting it, that presentation should be proper. You are having that answer, you are knowing that answer, but while presenting,
that must be me then because I can never write proper answers.
that is why you know the concept, but when you are presenting that, that is not sufficient for that question. So that you have to keep in mind. So then,
And sometimes I just don't get the right words when I'm writing down.
so these all things that is generally I am telling. That is when we are evaluating the paper, because I have been in this one for board evaluation for 20 years I was doing. So how the children used to do, I am knowing. So just for simple that correction, if you are starting now itself, you can get. And the proper words to be used. Means appropriate word is there. If you are supposed to write a kulaks, so in that you are writing something else, that words mark you will not get. So according to you, you have written something related to that you have written. But the question expected to get that particular word. This correction you have to do. Understood or not? Not only for this class test.
Now I'm getting a call from my sister. She's home alone. I think I have to attend it. Just give me 2 minutes.
Go out and
Thank you so much.
Actually, there's no one home, so
parents are not there.
no, they have gone to the hospital with them.
Okay, I think you got to know that what you have. You are knowing the thing, but while presenting you are not. Then handwriting is also one important thing. I was telling to that 10th standard student also. He know that a concept, but the handwriting is this much shabby. So what he intended to write, nobody.
She just wanted the house keys.
Okay. So what he intended, I cannot understand or you cannot understand. So that all things you have to make correction. So now itself if you are starting, so don't see only the mark first. Then after making that corrections, if you are not getting mark, you can really question. My aim is to improve you. So if I am giving that, okay, उसने यही सोच के लिखा होगा. Like that, if I am granting you mark, that mistake you will commit again. So that is why sometimes you may not have got that much expected mark. These corrections, if you are making, you can improve. Okay. Come back. So here, how that outbreak of the revolution. So it started all just like a protest for getting that bread. Simply when we hear about bread के बारे में एक revolution हुआ है क्या?
We could compare to if there was a rice shortage in India.
Right?
We can compare, but we can understand it by if thinking of what would happen if there was a rice shortage in India. That way I can understand.
Yes, you can understand. So I'm just trying to tell you that much big was the food problem. And this ladies, you just think about, they have to look after your children, their children. They have to take care of the family, and at the same time, standing in long queues for getting that bread. So naturally, they started in the form of a protest. That was one. Second, do you remember about this estate general? What was this estate general?
Estate general was a meeting called by the king for all three estates to make any changes in their taxes.
So there was a need to increase the tax. So estate general was the parliament at that time. Consists of all the three estates.
Was it like a parliament or was it just?
No, it was a parliament. It was, later on that one only turned into National Assembly. No? So what was that? It was that parliament called to increase the taxes. It was called after almost 175 years.
So there had been no change.
We know that our parliament should meet 3 times, minimum 3 times in a year.
The 3 sessions.
3 sessions are there. So that way, this parliament was not called for 175 years. When there was a need for increasing the taxes, the parliament was called. When it was called, what was the date? 5th May 1789. Okay. So he called together an assembly of the States General to pass proposals for new taxes. Where it was met? Versailles. It was a very big palace.
Palace of Versailles.
Palace of Versailles. It has several parts also. Separate segments are there. So in that only this parliament was called, State General was called. Now, what was that representation? First estate sent 300 members. Second estate also 300. Third estate, as it was the vast, it was having 600. Okay, this was the number of representation. There was no problem because people were knowing this is what. But the problem all started when this third estate was carrying that memorandum from the people. Because they could not come, they could not attend. So the memorandum of all the people were carried by this third estate people. Now what is the real problem? When this estate met, it was put to vote. Means king told tax increase, it has to be voted. Actually, the vote is like that. One house, 300 separately, no. One vote from first estate, one vote from second estate, and one vote from third estate.
So third estate never really has a choice. It's always
Got it?
yes.
And what was the demand of this? This third estate demanded that let everyone vote.
Yeah, not just one single vote.
Let everyone. Let it be the first estate, the second estate, or third estate. Everyone individually let them vote. They were not demanding that
That's a
only.
fair demand.
They demanded that is everyone should have one vote. But the king and the first two estates were not ready. First two estates also some people were there. They were supporting that third estate's claims.
The nobles.
From among the nobles were there, from among the clergies also, some were there in
People
support.
supported.
Because it was a realistic demand.
Yeah.
Because they were 600. On the basis of that population, if it is given, they should be given more. That also they did not demand. They told everyone should
Have the
be
right to vote.
given one vote. So we can count that vote and accordingly we will accept it. But king rejected that demand and these people boycotted that. And just they went outside and met in that same place only, tennis court. That
They took
is,
the tennis court also.
we know that lawn tennis is there, indoor tennis court is also there. So in the indoor tennis court, they met. These all people went. Along with that, some members from the second estate and the first estate also. They went and started their meeting there and they called themselves as National Assembly. Okay, they called themselves as National Assembly and they took a decision that they will never disperse till a constitution is drafted.
So they'll stay there.
They will not disperse till
The constitution.
constitution is. So when they have started the meeting, formation of the National Assembly, representatives of the third estate viewed themselves as spokesmen of the whole French nation. 20th June 1789, they assembled in the hall of the indoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles. They declared themselves a National Assembly and so not to disperse till they had drafted a constitution for France that would limit the powers of monarchy.
So they basically wanted to overthrow the monarch, right?
They wanted to establish a constitutional monarchy. Actually, they don't want to remove that because the intellectuals know that whom the power should be given. If it is given to X, Y, or Z, they don't know how to govern. But they are having the habit of being ruled by a king. But now they wanted it to be controlled by the people. So this National Assembly would control the king. That is why they want.
Like the European government, which is also constitutional.
It is constitutional monarchy, but parliament is powerful.
Yeah.
That earlier time, the king was having more powers. Now that the powers reduced and all, only parliament and Prime Minister is able to take a decision.
So the king does not really have a say.
But the king has a lot of influence.
Yeah,
King-
influence in having a say in.
But
Decision.
they are not able to take a decision regarding the
And they
administration.
can't actually take this, but
See,
they influence.
I'll tell you that before the death of Queen Elizabeth only last year 3 prime ministers changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 prime ministers changed. That kind of decisions and the signature is from the king. Understood? But administrative decisions are not taken. In our country, Prime Minister and Cabinet is taking the decision. President is just signing.
Yeah. President is
The
like the
same-
queen. He is bounded by the.
Yes. The same way, the king or queen in England is also enjoying that. So here also, they want to make a constitutional monarchy. I don't know, that is in between I left, so spelling is correct or not. Just correct. So halfway I was telling the story. Yeah? So what we have seen, they decided that they will not disperse until the constitution is drafted. Then in that 2 persons, I have told from first and second stage to some persons were there. So one person was Mirabeau and the second person was Abbasius.
What was the second person?
Abbasius. Mirabeau was from that
second state.
second state. Abbasius was priest. Okay.
Priest is like part of the clergy.
First stage. So they led this group because ideologically they understand the demand of the third estate is correct. So they joined with them in the drafting of the constitution. Got this much?
Yes.
Clear? Why they have boycotted? What was the demand? Now, this time in France, there was utter confusion. The men were busy making the constitution. Women were in search of food. Understood? See, while National Assembly was busy at first as drafting a constitution, the rest of France with turmoil. A severe winter had meant a bad harvest. Do you remember that part?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the price of bread rose. Often bakers exploited the situation and hoarded supplies. After spending hours in long queues at the bakery, crowds of angry women stormed into the shops. Situation you compare.
What is a turmoil?
Turmoil means a complete what is that?
Disastrous, basically.
It is not disaster. What word I wanted to tell? Disorder condition. That exact word will come
Eventually.
after some time.
You are suffering the same problem as we do.
Yeah, we can never get the right terms.
It has to come. Okay.
And this is what we suffered to.
While writing
Yes.
that. Yes, I can understand. So this is what for that more practice is required. And vocabulary is very important. Understood? Okay. What happened after spending hours in long queues? What happened at the bakery? Crowds of angry women stormed into the shops. Okay. At the same time, King ordered troops to move into Paris. On 14th July, the agitated crowd stormed and destroyed the Bastille.
Last time was a jail.
The first introductory part of that incident was
There
made.
is 7.
Only 7
Bastille is
episodes.
the fort, right?
No,
Bastille is
prison.
named a fort, but then it's actually a prison.
Prison. Okay. In the countryside, rumors spread from village to village that the lords of manor had hired bands of brigands who were on their way to destroy the rice crops. See, what is that? I have told you about feudalism. Remember? Feudalism is a system based on land.
Yes.
Okay. The whole land belongs to the king. King distribute the land to different grades of nobles. Okay. So the nobles are having lands in different places. The land belongs to that feudal lord is called manor. Feudal.
And that land is hereditary or it's inherited, right?
No, it is not hereditary.
It's given by the king.
That is, it will go on changing. According, see what is
It's basically like the
barons
zamindari
are
system.
there, knights are there, different designations are there. So if I am not that much rich, my that money is gone, so I may not get the land from the king. Understood? It is not hereditary. It is not that person's property. It is given by the king.
It's
For
like
a period.
the Britishers and India's zamindari system, where the land was only given to powerful rich people.
Okay. So that land is called manor. Feudal manor. In the feudal manor, so many things are there. In that pasture land is there. Okay, pasture land, the place where that what is that? The peasants live. That in the middle of that, the house of that lord is there. That is whenever he come, because he is having so many places that land. Understood? So pasture land, so many things are included in one feudal manor. Got it? Later on we will see. Earlier feudal manor. This you understand? Now in that area, what the rumors spread that brigands were kept by the feudal lords. Brigand means armed groups. Goons we are telling.
Oh yeah, thugs and goons.
So the people they were ready with their arms to attack the people. That is what a brigand. Got the words meaning?
Yes.
Now, when this one was heard, people, those who heard the news, they took their own weapons. See, what is that? Caught in a frenzy of fear, peasants in several districts seized to hooves and pitchforks and attacked the Chattoks.
What's that?
Chattoks is the place where that lords live. Feudal castle
It's
and
pronounced chateau in French. I learned French. Chateau.
But that one, we all are not French people. We are ordinary people. So, in order to remember the spelling, this will be good.
Yeah.
Because those who are knowing, okay. But others, if you are spelling properly, got it? Whatever weapons they get in their hands, pitchforks, hooves, whatever they are getting, they took and went to attack. Actually, it was not for attacking. What was in that situation? They thought that the hoarded things can be taken because they were not having anything to eat. In the shops are also nothing is available. prices went high, they don't have the money to buy. This is a good opportunity to take that thing. That is why. They looted, hoarded grain, and burned down documents containing records of manorial dues. In order to see, this one is one feudal manor, and this person, if the person is X, that if feudal lord is X, he never cultivated the land. He distributed the land to lesser lords. Lesser lord distributed the land to another lesser persons. Finally, it comes to the peasants who are cultivating. Now, for their needs, they are getting money from this lords only for their living. For that, they have to surrender some documents. We know that money lenders say, "Paisa lete waqt kuch to
Give me them.
that some things they are there." Or nowadays, bank you see, bank so many papers are there, documents are there. So here, the documents of the peasants are there. So they burned it. So now they don't have to pay. What is the proof? If you are telling that I have to pay her that 5,000 rupees, then what is the proof? I have already burned it. Burned. So what is the proof? So this is
You owe me 1,000 actually.
okay. So this is what happened. Understood? So these all situations together. Now, when there is attack and all, nobles fled the country. That is, they went into some other parts to stay in order to get security. So this all situation together is termed as turmoil. Okay. Now, National Assembly, when it is so, you imagine men were preparing the constitution.
Women were
fighting, and other section they heard the news that goons are coming.
to kill.
So by the time those who were there, they took pickaxes and hooves and all whatever there, then attack, looted that one, and by seeing all this condition, all the nobles fled the place. Imagine. One group went and attacked the Boston prison, released that prisoner.
7 prisoners.
So interesting, very interesting only that imagine that.
Imagine living in France at that time. It would be so fun.
Now National Assembly. When they have started,
There's no
June
I don't
20,
know.
they started their work. Now when they have completed, faced with the power of his revolting subjects, Louis XVI finally accorded recognition to the National Assembly and accepted the principles that his power would, from now, can be checked by a constitution. They prepared the constitution. On the night of 4th August 1789. So they have, this one was the, then 20th June they started preparing. Then what was that? 4th August 1789. Okay. Once I heard from somebody, history इसलिए अच्छा नहीं लगता है.
इतना dates है.
So you just connect it with something. So dates, your birthday, your friend's birthday, or like that. Some dates, if you are connecting, it won't be difficult.
I think of a story.
All these dates have something
Yes.
in my family.
I want to see that how you are preparing that story later on. Now, I got this thing, big this thing, target. I got this many periods you have to complete, and this lesson is so big. So I don't know that how to shorten it. So that is why. But everything I have to tell also. This lesson is important. Okay. Now 4th August, this one was accepted. So what was this thing? Abolished feudal system and obligations and taxes. What is that obligation? Feudal obligation. That is,
You have to do.
so this one. And taxes. So these all are removed. Members of the clergy too were forced to give up their privileges.
So they just took away privileges from the church priest. They were like, no priest, no more.
Not like that. Actually, by being that community, they used to collect a lot of money. Why is that earlier some revolts were there? Actually, it was, I have told you, 1/10. See, voluntarily when we are giving, see, we feel that, okay, I am getting a job, I am having a job, I am having salary. So, I have to give this
Something
contribution
to the church as donation.
But if you are forced to give your land to be surrendered, your this thing to be surrendered, everything to be in the name of church, so it was unbearable for the people. Okay. Now, so much property was attached to that church. Why this much property is to be attached to the church?
What will the church do of the property?
So that is why they had to confiscate the church property. Getting?
Yes.
Now, tithes were abolished and lands owned by the church were confiscated. As a result, the government acquired assets worth at least 2 billion livres.
But someone shut down this church.
So, why for Nadir Shah, Hamad Shah, Dani, and all these people came to India to loot? They know that these temples are filled with jewelry, this thing and all. So that is why they came, no? So the same way, if this all the worship places, if it is opened, so much the government can get.
Exactly.
So recently that 2000 rupee was
The note was banned.
okay. So now one place some water that in plastic, this bundles and bundles and bundles of 2000 rupee note were packed, bundled and sealed and put it in the water.
Why?
Because illegal money, na?
Black money.
So they cannot use also.
Yeah.
They cannot deposit in the bank also. Proof will be asked.
Because it's a large amount, so they need to give proof where they got it.
Now, if they wanted to buy a property, that person also will not accept because he cannot take that money to bank.
Exactly.
So this way, all of a sudden, so many things happening means to make the minds of the people very much confused.
Suspicious.
So, okay, you got that condition, sequence of events you understood. Now, France become a constitutional monarchy. We have come, that is when the revolt, different stages, then Estates General, then France was in a turmoil, they made the constitution and it was made into a constitutional monarchy.
In 1791.
Okay. When was France made, National Assembly completed the draft constitution in 1791. You see that which day, the 20th June 1789, they started the work. And the completion of the constitution was done in 1791. Okay? So you may think that they did not get disbursed or not.
Yeah, was they just sitting there with no food?
No. It was like that, stage by stage. They prepared the rights of the people and all. So how the transfer of power have to be made? So that finalization was made in 1791. They prepared the draft.
So just like how Indian Constitution was made in 1950 and like implied on 1950.
They were like, they did not disperse from the court first.
No. They dispersed. You see,
They went home, right?
Actually, we have studied 4th August 1789. They made it.
They didn't say that they won't discuss until they make a constitution.
Yeah.
They won't discuss until they draft a constitution.
No, that
seems to
was
make
the
a
basic.
early word.
Instead of the basic.
This one by 4th August they prepared
A draft.
draft.
Okay.
So afterwards, that finalization of that one is done by 79. Okay.
Yes.
For our constitution,
It took more than 3
3
years.
years. December 1946 they started. November 1949 completed. Our constitution. The same way. Here they started drafting. You have to understand all those principles told by Rousseau, Voltaire, Montesquieu, John Locke. All things have to be included. How and where to include? That was a complicated process. That is why it took 3 years.
Same with India also. It took 3 years.
India's, we have to take from Ireland, we have to take from Britain, we have to take from France, we have to take something from Russia, we have to take from American Constitution. That was, it is already made. Their constitution is already made. From that we have to take. But here,
There
nothing
was
more. So they have to make their constitution and to limit the powers of them. That was very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the aims of this constitution was to limit
The powers of the monarch.
the powers of the monarch. Next is that these powers, instead of being concentrated in the hands of one person, now separated and assigned 3 different institutions. See what happened? Here, first it was concentrated in the hands of king. Now, very parallel, this institutions like executive, legislature and judiciary. Equal level. Understood?
With different jobs.
So all this way, how to form this legislature, how to form executive, how to form judiciary. These all things
They
take a
had
lot
to
of
figure.
time. So that
So this
is
is how the parliament was made.
They made
From
the
National
stepping stones.
National Assembly was drafting all this.
France made the stepping stones for all the other countries to draft.
Yes,
their-
definitely. That France only started this. That is why we got many things from.
Yeah, we have a lot of things in common.
So when the powers were distributed in these 3 sections, it was made into, and these 3 organs are controlling the king.
Now the king is not controlling.
From king, the powers were not going. From them, the powers were going to the king. That is how the constitution monarchy. Understood? The next part we will study.
But if the king is not having any power, so what is the use of the 3 powers?
Same way president in our country.
See, we are going to learn that only. And how this works. See, What is, along with that, see, one is that, second, this one, three institutions were created. Third one is, second here, third one is Declaration of Rights for Man and Citizen.
Now it's actually really cold. Can you turn off the fan?
It's going to be now better, guys.
Not, I think it's the other switch.
See, I feel, as you told, nowhere it is fully blocked.
Yeah, that's fine.
AC also we have system. We will feel suffocated. So this part is understood. Now the third one is Declaration of Rights
Rights
and
and men.
Rights of Citizen.
Citizen.
This one is very important.
I like how you specified man.
First time the word citizen was used in France. Then you may think that what was used earlier. They were just subjects.
Or civilians.
Civilian word was also not there, subjects. King and subjects. So the first time the word citizen was used. Got it?
Yeah.
Now how that king's power was made. Very interesting. Now somebody's support I want. You have to read this one. Passive citizens. I'm just writing. Who are the passive citizens?
Now, what is the page number?
Page 8.
The ones who weren't allowed to vote.
Passive citizens are citizens who were either not working or women or children.
So who were that women?
Children, non-employed men, or
Property.
non-employed and non-property.
Anybody have textbook with you?
No. We usually just bring the volume.
No, textbook also. Some here, no, actually, below 25. The number is very important.
Yeah.
Okay. At that time in France, 28 million people were there. Okay.
The population was
Ah.
increased at 220.
No, 1789 we are talking. 1789 only revolution. So 1789 their population was 28 million. So out of the 28 million, passive citizens, no voting rights about 3 million men. So women, children and non-property person below 25 years were there. Then another is that men. Okay, these sections were called passive citizens. Okay, first category. Got it? Out of 28 million, 3 million men plus women, nobody was having, children,
And the youth was
then,
25 years.
below
I would
25
just
years.
end up in a handful of men being able
You
to
can
opinion.
see that is why I want that number. I was asking that textbook. Then afterwards,
In the textbook, the number of active citizens are written.
active,
Not written, I think.
active citizens. Now we are going to say the active citizens. Active citizens, about 4 million of population of 28. So only 4 million out of 28 million are active citizens. Now let me ask, how can you define that active citizens?
Men with property.
The ones who pay taxes.
There is a definition for that. Active citizens are those men above 25 years able to pay 3 days workers' wages as tax. That much definition to be written.
Yes.
Huh? Say, if okay, boy, okay, he is about 25 years. That is first condition.
Yes.
Second, he should have a good job so that his 3 days wage can be paid as tax.
Okay.
Just a job will not work. He should have that much income to pay 3 days wages as tax. Then he is eligible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he
He's
will not
not
be
eligible.
eligible. So, active citizens are those men who are above 25 years and able to pay 3 days workers' wages as tax.
So basically, not even half the population. It's
But
4 million.
only 4 million are active citizens. Okay? Now, these two understood? Passive, active. Active citizens only 4 million.
So 1/7 of the total population.
Now, this 4 million are voting. Now, this 4 million vote, how many? That is 50,000 electors. Correct now?
Yeah.
4 million people elected 50,000.
People.
Now, this 50,000 elect 745. Sorry, 7. That are National Assembly members.
So these 50 are to elect.
The 4 million elect 50,000 people, 50,000 elect 745 members. They form the legislature.
This is just so unfair to everyone at this point.
They form the legislature. This is what the legislature. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this legislature, that they control that king. From them only the ministers are elected, and they also control the king. So, both the ways, control the king and control the ministers. Got it?
Yes.
So, they form the executive.
So they'll implement the laws and everything.
Laws will be made by them, legislature. Then this one will be executing, implement as she told. Okay. Got this much clear?
And judiciary would enforce them.
So now these people
The 4 million
again they vote.
judge.
That reforms the judiciary. Just if you want, you can copy down so that you complete that. Anita, what are you doing? मोबाइल है हाथ में है ना? Can see. When I am not seeing, keep it open. Have you written?
No, I'm just
No, I don't think I need to do it. I don't think I need to do it.
You have to. Then only that I can take. I have to take something more also. Now the time is ending.
road. So ma'am, what about this on left? Which page number of the volume?
Left out. Who is that left out? Which number?
Out of 28 million, 4 million are the active citizens, and rest are the.
They don't have any right.
Don't have.
Voting right is not there.
So they just sit there and look at the active citizens take
So
decisions.
then that book, I think somewhere it is written when they got voting right. No.
That is in social
Political science. Democracy and that one first lesson. What democracy? Why democracy not taught? No.
No, not.
Okay. You are.
Yeah.
So now here we are going to see some political symbols. Okay.
Yes.
When the revolution have taken place, several important incidents also have taken place as part of it.
Yes.
One is that broken chain. When we see
For
that
the slaves, right?
when we see that broken chain, what we understand? These all are images. Means some things, if I am telling about freedom, you may not understand what is freedom. So sometimes you may understand that I should get freedom to walk freely, that without being controlled by anybody. That is okay. According to me, freedom is that. Or parents should not compel me to reach by this time. That restriction should not be there. So this is what your imagination. That is a condition only. It is not a kind of thing which can be shown. That is a fan. Fan means that visible. But these all things are some kind of
Images.
that images only coming in our mind.
Visualization of these.
So that is why broken chain is something like that. So chain is used to fetter that slaves. Earlier, slaves were there in order to
tie them.
in order to lock them. Chains were used. Once they are free, the chain is broken. So broken chain is used for becoming free. Understood? So sometimes if you, this kind of word meanings will be asked, what does it mean? So broken chain is used for fettering the slaves, and on becoming free, it is broken chain. Second, bundle of rods or faces. We know that when the stick is bundled together,
Yeah.
I'm giving to you to break it. कैसे break करेगा? you cannot break it together because it is a bundle. But we can break it when it is separated.
A single stick can be broken, but a bundle
So it shows unity. Understood?
Yes.
When it is united together, we cannot. One rod can be easily broken, but not an entire bundle. Strength lies in unity. Meanings you have to study it. Next one, eye within a triangle radiating light. The all-seeing eye stands for knowledge. The rays of sun will drive away the clouds of ignorance.
As in?
Ignorance can be removed when the rays of light is there. Next is scepter. King is using a scepter. Understood?
Yes.
So it is the symbol of royal power. A snake biting its tail to form a ring. A ring is neither having a beginning nor having an end.
Symbol of
Eternity. Okay. Red Phrygian cap. Cap worn by a slave upon becoming free. Blue, white, and red national colors of France.
It's also in the flag.
Winged woman personification of law. The law tablet, the law is same for all and all are equal before law. See, this
law
thing,
tablet is used where?
see law, when rights of citizen and man and citizen is given, no? So that it was written. These are the rules. These are the rights.
It was engraved in a stone.
On tablet, big tablet it is incised.
And where is it kept?
It is kept before the making the constitution. It was placed there in the
Parliament.
Like
We have in our parliament.
Yes.
What is it?
It is a page, a fraternity, liberty.
Yeah, what is it
Yes.
said?
Preamble.
Preamble.
Okay. You have to write this one.
Okay. Do you have to draw the symbols?
Yes. Symbols.
No.
Just write the name of it, right?
Then how France become a constitutional monarchy, you have to write it.
Yes.
Then definition of active citizen, you have to write it. The other day I have given you that political course, all those courses I have given you as homework. One fine day I will ask your notebook, no excuse.
What? What definition?
Last week I have given you political, economic, and so all this one also, how France become a constitutional monarchy.
Should I show?
No, next day.
One fine day, okay.
One fine day, any day it can happen.
Thank you all.